settle it. 4 more frames. Your commentators, Neil Foles and Dave Hendon.
Thank you. Frame 9, Mark Allen to break.
It's Mark Allen to get the final session of the Masters underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's an issue with the commentary. The issue being that Dave Hendon gets so excited during the introductions, I think he might have spilt his pint. So you come back to the studio just talking over these pictures. Jimmy White, Neil Robertson and Ronnie O'Sullivan beside me, and they'll talk you through the key moments until we get our proper experts back on the ball. A huge frame, Robbo, at 4-4.
Yeah, and what a what a great ovation for the boys to come out. And, you know, it's definitely sink or swim tonight. You either thrive in these sort of situations or, you know, you tend to crumble. And, you know, everyone has done that. But, yeah, you know, it's so much at stake for both these guys, and, you know, both desperate to win.
Yeah, they've just played 2 sort of, we call them 2 dump shots, 2 safety shots there. Just trying to feel of the table. And, not playing any aggressive safety shots, waiting for an opportunity.
Okay, good news. Although I could listen to Jimmy White all night. But we'll get back to Folsey and Dave Hendon.
Final session of the final of the Masters underway. Mark Allen and Kyren Wilson effectively playing a best of 11, but what a best of 11 it is to become champion and take away that Paul Hunter trophy and the £200,000 first prize.
You got that right? Very tense tonight, and while you think of both the players are fairly much in the same position here, aren't they, with their career, that this would really change it all. As Colin Murray rightly said, it really is a big evening. These 2 guys have worked up to this. Only one can win. Both would be something of a surprising winner from the start.
Mark Allen has won 3 ranking titles, Kyren Wilson 1, but this is, I think, the biggest night for either of them of their careers. Yes, Allen was in a UK final, but he comes into this one an older player, a more mature player, and he came in as favourite, and I think he'll be the happier of the 2 that it was 4-4. Kyren Wilson missed that pink in frame 4, had a good chance in the last of the afternoon as well. I think he would feel he should be in front, but a lot of what it takes to win a big tournament, of course, is to pull all that out of your mind, just focus now on this final session in front and not look back with regret, but just carry on and look to the future, because it's a big, big night of snooker here.
Just a point. They'll be playing up to the table here for sure. maybe looking over to the right-hand side of the table as we look for the best place to
Crumble.
land in. Yes, that's not bad there.
Kyren Wilson 1.
Well, getting back to Volk is not going to be easy here. Trouble with that shot, and while it's all he could do, now he could find himself in more trouble again. That looks a very thin one to open. So in a roundabout way, Mark has given himself a chance.
One.
40 years to the day since the late Alex Higgins won the first of his 2 Masters titles. Dennis Taylor also champion in 1987. Mark Allen, of course, belongs to a different generation, but what a great talent he is. Started playing snooker as a boy when his dad took him and his brother to the local social club of a Sunday to have a game, and progressed from there. He joined a local club and very quickly rose through the Northern Irish amateur ranks. He won the national title at every single age division. He also won the European and the World Amateur titles.
Six. Thank you.
Well, that is short.
7.
He's got a shot at the blue, one where he just leaves the cue ball in the middle of the table. If he wants to play it, that is. He doesn't want to play it. He's interested in the closeness of the yellow and brown here and try and get in behind it, I think.
Yellow ball.
Oh, he's playing the yellow. Wow. An attacking shot. If he goes for this. Tremendous. I wasn't sure he was on it, actually. He has to avoid his balls to get back round the table. And he has not finished very well on the red.
9.
So it started as edgily, I think, as the way it finished this afternoon. It was a very interesting session, as we've heard from everyone who was following it, that really Mark Allen must have been quite pleased to be 4-all. Could have easily been 6-2 down.
Yeah, there were a couple of really tight frames. The fourth one, 47 minutes, the longest of the whole tournament. Kyren Wilson had the pink to win it, but missed it, and Alan took it on the black. And that was only the fourth frame. Imagine how edgy it might get if the 7-all, 8-all, maybe 9-all later tonight. The most common scoreline in a best-of-19 final in the Masters is 10-9. It's happened 5 times.
A good cue ball shot. If you get near enough to the pot, you fancy the cue ball's going to go up and down the table into a safe area. So when you miss the pot by a long way, you've got no real idea what's going to happen. Safety played a part in the afternoon session, especially in the 8th frame, I thought, which some tremendous shots played in behind a yellow, which was near the top left pocket. But eventually, as we know, Mark Allen won all those battles. Won the frame, pulled it out of the fire.
Both players trying to get in this opening frame of the night and settle down again after a break of a couple of hours after the last session. Wilson put together those 2 really good frames, 6 and 7, breaks of 86, 89, but then didn't take his chance to win the last of the afternoon. And it is Mark Allen who's in with a good pot.
Plenty of topspin, left-hand side as well. But really top of the ball there, you play that shot.
6.
And if anything, it's just drifted a bit too far.
Seven.
Well, not bad, Kiss, although, you know, he's not really in behind this pink. The way he plays it, it's taking the cue ball across to the right of the table, down by the almost bottom right pocket. So he's got to control it and keep an eye on the pot itself. That is pretty good. The red near the black spot is available.
13. 14. 20. 21. 27.
He's done pretty well to make as many as this, where the balls are placed, but there is the chance he could go on and make a few more yet. Black's never been in the game, but he's very good around the blue and the pink spot anyway. He's very good at stopping that cue ball travelling too far.
28.
Very tight cue action.
$33. $34.
I guess a little smattering of applause, but pretty sure the break's over now. Now it's a question of keeping things as tight as possible. A very handy lead, but still not over the line by any means. Don't think he'll even... This is too narrow a red to pot to the middle bag, especially from there. Might be able to roll it in from right behind it. Makes me think he might play off the two reds close together. Taking the cue ball up towards the yellow, I think. Needs to ensure that this is a very difficult table for someone that's behind by so many. Not sure I understand the thought process here. Keep it simple, I would say. Taking over a minute looking at this when surely he has to play off these two reds in the middle of the table. Few other options seem to be available to him. Moving this red, I'm not sure. Well, he's pushed a red into play, which hopefully from his point of view won't be an error. But it was a very good break all the same. Handy break. That's an excellent reply from Kyren Wilson. Some urging on of Kyren Wilson, but not by any means an easy starter. And also getting onto a colour from this red would be tough, so he might not even go for it. Very well played. Well, he's got an absolute guaranteed snooker. Brown in behind the green, or if he feels really positive he could take one of those two colours on. Well, he's nominating green, so he must be going for it. That is just a great shot. Really positive shot.
4.
Well, it's 3 in a row for Wilson, 3 really good pots. But the previous shot was a little unlucky, not one of the reds safe onto that top cushion, which obviously he's going to need. He's going to need them all.
Well, I thought he played that pretty well, without any luck. Probably played into between the 2 reds, but he's almost just bisected them.
Yes, it's in his interests to try and get the black into play. So 38 in it, with a possible 59 on.
Yes, he's actually done very well, although he has left access to 1 red.
Saw a lot of this afternoon, a lot of quite cagey snooker. But Alan, the favourite in this frame, he's the man in front. And he's not that one in.
Yeah, I mean, it's cagey snooker, you're right. Between 2 very attacking players, actually.
I think sometimes the balls just run awkward, and that sort of necessitates a certain style of play. They're not shy about taking pots on, that's for sure.
Yeah, I wonder if he'd be shy of taking on this pink and going into the 2 reds. If he was behind by 39, not in front by 39, he'd certainly play it. I understand the difference between the 2 and the context of each frame.
He's only missed 2 long pots the whole match, 11 out of 13.
Extra insurance putting another ball onto a cushion.
Always was a difficult match to call. There's a head-to-head between them, 3-3. Longest match they played was at the World Championship 2 years ago. Wilson won 13-9, and a strange match that. They were each winning a clump of frames at a time. It wasn't nip and tuck like this.
Well, this is a half chance, certainly, to get some points back. You have to play the opening red with a little bit of extra pace, which of course always leads to the chance it'll stay up. Played well. He can hit the ball slower then. I mean, he floated that one, which makes me wonder why he didn't play with a little less pace in frame 4 this afternoon. He had a pink to win it with the black safe, and he'd give it a bit of a whack for a frame ball, which I've seen him do before. But he can float them in. It's just something that players sometimes do when they're under extra pressure. They just overhit.
7.
And that's something Kyren's been guilty of a couple of times in the past.
Eight.
Oh, I don't know if he played on the black, but again, extra pace, not much of a pocket to hit into here.
$15. $16. $21.
Missable shot once again.
Well, no reaction at all from Mark Allen as the yellow wriggled in.
Yes, it's tried its best to stay up. The crucial point now, though, is that the brown that Mark Allen put safe, he'll need anyway. Totally understand him not going for that green. He's right back in the frame now. That was a very good contribution and a great shot to finish.
Yeah, another frame that hangs in the balance. Mark Allen leads by 16 on the green. Brown on the cushion.
So easy to do that, to go around the back.
Foul and a miss.
You sometimes feel you've got two chances, hit it directly or hit it from the bottom cushion. And you hit somewhere in between the two.
Back.
Well, he had a very quick look, but he was always going to have it back. 10 in it on the green, that's the number where there's really less in it than what you think, because one player needs 3 pots and the other one's still only 4. So it's a very slender lead. Probably 2 cushions, I would say. I think that's probably about right. And hit this time much better.
Thank you very much.
There's some very good shots in the second half of this frame. Keeping distance between the two balls here.
Frame approaching the half-hour mark, as you can see, just ticking over. So it's the second longest frame of the match so far.
Well, what about that for a shot? He's developed the brown as well. I don't know whether he meant that, but I think it's only a win the frame, but I think he's just gone favourite in the frame. And that was the crucial part of it, the snooker and the cannon. It's changed it completely.
If that's what he played, then that is one of the shots of the day. Obviously, he played the snooker. To get the brown out as well, it's massive.
It's not the easiest snooker to hit either, Dave, actually. The way that there's that uncomfortable gap between the green and the side cushion, easily slipped round.
Wow, what a result that is. He wasn't sure, nobody was, where they were going to finish. Look at that for a result. It was a good hit. You've got to say it was a good hit, but obviously was not in control of where they were going to finish up. I think it's fair to say he's happy with this.
Well, in hitting the screen, he could actually get a snooker back if he plays it at the right sort of pace. Just not quite hard enough.
Meanwhile, another fly has faded the pitch. There was actually water coming through the ceiling about an hour before play started, but it was attended to very quickly, thankfully.
I've seen pictures, actually fully raining, wasn't it, indoors? Massively not on the table. That would have caused a serious delay. Almost feels like a decider this, but there could be quite a few nervy frames tonight, I think. Both players have recognised today as the possible changing of their career in one evening. I think that they're both going to play accordingly, and why not?
Yes, if you win this tournament, it's something people will remember. It's Alan McManus's birthday today. Happy birthday, Alan. He won this tournament 24 years ago. He actually was the first player ever to beat Stephen Hendry in the Masters. Hendry had won it 5 years running, and Alan beat him 9-8 in a decider. is on that roll of honour that these two would love to be on with all the greats.
Well, obviously he played in behind the brown there. Just about got the shot right. Had the cushion-to-cushion safety, which he actually played on a black in frame this afternoon, fourth frame, and left it over the pocket.
Push the brown slightly safer. Of course, they both need it. Mark Allen was in it early on in this frame, broke down on 40. It was a tough table. But that lead has been chipped away at, and now there's just 10 in it. Patsy Fagan there in the front row, first ever UK champion. It's his birthday, actually, during the tournament. Meantime, the frame time ticking on now for 37.5 minutes.
Yes, and the average frame time in this match, 20 minutes and 9 seconds. So this is obviously going to be pushed out a little bit because of this. We had the longest frame of the tournament this afternoon, which was 46 minutes, 46 seconds. It was the pretty dramatic fourth frame. Went down to the black. Well, obviously no pot available here, but what he can do is get a very telling safety shot in. One that puts his opponent potentially in a lot of trouble. Wow, that is a dreadful shot. If he gets lucky here, more than he deserves. What a terrible shot to leave the brown in the middle of the table like that. His priority had to be to put the brown near a cushion.
Thank you, Mark.
Think he can get to it?
4.
So the blue then, and it's 1 snooker required. Well, a very nervy start to the evening, I think it's fair to say. And in the end, a big error from Kyren Wilson. Mark Allen wins a 40-minute opening frame to this final session. This could be a very dramatic night here at the Ali Pali this evening. So Allen then edges in front. We made to wait.
Yes, and think about a frame that he may have actually pulled himself back into at one point before making that bad shot on the brown. A lot of snooker to be left in the match. He'll know that. He's got a wonderful temperament, actually. That's one of the things that's taken him so far in the game. But this will stretch it even further on an occasion like this.
Take your seats as quickly as possible, please. Thank you, frame 10. Kyren Wilson to break.
Paul Hunter Trophy is what they're playing for this evening, named in honour of the much-missed 3 times Masters champion. His dad, Alan, is here today. Bittersweet occasion, I'm sure, for him, coming to the Masters final, which contains so many great memories of when his boy was winning all those titles in deciders, making comebacks and just thrilling everybody. As I say, Alan not really scored heavily. 62 in the second frame, his highest break. If he can start to find his range and get going, you never know, he could pull away. Yeah, got very close to that one.
Oh, fairly inviting, those 3 reds, but he's a bit low on the even the bottom one. He may not want to take a risk of any description. As Dave was pointing out earlier, that there's never been more than a frame between these 2 players, so this one, the onus is on Kyren Wilson to win this one.
Between them, they've taken out the leading 3 members of the class of '92. Kyren Wilson beat Mark Williams. Mark Allen beat both Ronnie O'Sullivan and John Higgins. In fact, Wilson is the first player born in the 1990s to appear in a Triple Crown final. He's 26 years of age. Allen celebrating his birthday next month, actually. He'll be 32.
Yeah, that stat's been floating around all day, hasn't it? It's quite an amazing one to think that it's not as much of a young man's game as we thought. Well, people try and tell us. The very fact that no other player born at that point or more recently has ever got to a final like this. It's pretty seasoned, very experienced players on the tour with all the ability in the world. Mark Allen, of course, is one of them. Well, he's got a bit lucky. Didn't know anything about where the red was going to end up. That shot makes me wonder if it might end up a re-rack this frame.
Re-rack?
Yep.
Re-rack, yeah.
Well, it didn't. At least it didn't take long for them to agree it. Seconds, in fact. Yeah, they both saw where that was heading, and the answer was nowhere. So we're going to start frame 10 again. Yeah, Mark Allen wiping the sweat off his brow, having dug deep to win that 40-minute frame. He's won the 2 longest frames now, the final. The last one and also frame 4.
Yeah, I mean, just to explain the re-rack, obviously both players can agree to restart a frame at any point. Referee can intervene if it gets to the point where neither player is playing any shots and they don't want to re-rack. You can offer them 3 shots each, but that rarely happens. It's usually a bit of eye contact between the players. They're happy to rack them up, forget it ever happened.
So frame 10 of the Masters final has been re-racked. Kyren Wilson to break then for a second time.
Frame 10. Kyren Wilson to break.
Players knocking a very high percentage of that sort of shot these days. He'd love to be on the red. It's just up and to the left of the black, the closest one to it, but I don't think he can quite manage it from here. That will be his aim. That will clear the decks for the black to both corners.
Three. Four.
Well, now he's trying to get on that red, and I think he's played that beautifully. Because I don't think it goes from everywhere. It certainly will go from there.
Ten. $17.
Now screwing in and out of the bunch here. Black into the same pocket as the aim. Very whippy, fast
18.
cue action. Didn't mean to finish so near to the side cushion as that. It's one of those sort of
Allen,
hiding
18.
to nothing shots, really, that you see where players are dropping the ball in, doing nothing with the cue ball. And if you miss it, it looks a bad shot. But it wasn't playing on much either. A couple of quite difficult reds to keep the break going. That one, the middle one there, could have been the one that he was hoping for. It's Kyren's now. Well, we had a great view of that one, and he was never in any doubt.
Well, that's one battle he has won. Or has he? Yes, he has. Been battling these invaders all week here at Alexandra Palace.
Well, I think he meant to hit it thinner. That
8.
black just to throw the angle wider. Probably should have done that better with that shot, actually.
Kyren Wilson, 8.
Pretty good safety shot to end, though.
Kyren Wilson, I think, was always destined for the big stage. When he was just 8 years of age, he played Peter Ebdon in a charity pool match and beat him. And he said afterwards, Ebdon took him to one side and said, you know, you want to take this game seriously. Not pool, but snooker, which he was already playing at that point.
Foul.
Well, it's
Mark Allen
a
for-
kind of in-off you'd be proud of if you were a billiard player. Quite difficult to get, because he meant to leave the cue ball in that corner.
They've played this whole match, the two of them, like the stakes are really high, and of course they are. So that might explain it. But I think it's a different environment to some of the other matches they played this week where they would be second favourite. It's a big chance, they know it's a big chance each of them to win the Masters, and that may be just affecting the way the players sort of panned out. Been quite edgy.
It's strangely both similar players. I mean, they're not similar in any way they play, in that one's left-handed and their cue actions are very different, but their style of play, I think, is similar. They're both very determined. There are more talented players than both of these in the game. They can be devastating in spells. They've got a real burning desire. So in that regard, they're very similar. And few players could ever be seen to try harder either than the pair of these. Need some luck here. It's okay. Not sure about that. Cue ball got back to safety, but the red could have finished anywhere.
The other thing about Wilson, I mentioned when he beat Ebden, that was a big early moment. School actually gave him Fridays off to play snooker. I know it seems kind of incredible, but they recognised his potential and came to an agreement that he could concentrate on his snooker on Fridays, and I guess that forced him to take it seriously. He knew he had to, because he was being given a great opportunity. There are other snooker players, maybe going back a bit further, who also took days off school, not necessarily with the school's cooperation, though.
Well, I wonder whether Kyren will be tempted with this red by the pink. It's at range. It holds great significance if he gets it, because it would give him a good chance. But he's been involved in a fairly lengthy safety battle and may not be in the best of rhythm to play it. He's looking at a different shot. Well, I wonder if he wishes now that he had, because he's given a chance. He's going to play the cut, but the cue will, by nature, will be coming up and down into bulk to the left side of the yellow, as he can do something about that. He missed it on the thick side. Good pot, unlucky where he's finished. Anywhere but there, on top of the green. I wonder if he's even think about playing the pink here. Not giving it much thought. Playing the green close to it. Hard to work out the angle on these. You can see it looks difficult. He's having a look at the pink now. In between about 3 different pots here. This looks a tough one to me. It's so difficult to pick up that angle.
Mark Allen 1.
Don't know why it is, but when you're very close with cue ball logic ball, you can't get to the shot and see it properly.
It's just very stop-start, isn't it? Mark Allen has only had 1/2 century in the whole match. And at the start of the day, I think if you've been told that, you'd say, well, he won't win then. He's actually in front, but can either of them really step it up? Wilson did for those two frames, frames 6 and 7, when he had the two 80-odd breaks.
Sure.
He's in again here. Looking to just rediscover the rhythm that he's shown the whole tournament, particularly yesterday, back end of the match with Judd Trump from 5-2 down, when he really attacked and showed us what he's made of.
It's worked out well.
7.
Well, it's the best chance he's had tonight.
Eight.
What was interesting about his Shanghai Masters victory in
13.
2015 is that he very nearly pulled out the tournament because his dad was having his 50th birthday party in Tenerife. It was a surprise party, and Kyren desperately wanted to be there, but he decided,
14.
no, I've qualified, I've got to go. He went and he won the tournament, and obviously we saw his parents with Colin before the final session began, just how proud they are of him, and proved to be absolutely the right decision. Of course, now, for this final, they're here in the audience, so this would be really special if he could bring home that trophy this evening. As we heard, when he was younger, he promised the Masters
21.
trophy to his mother.
$22.
Well, the fact that it was a surprise party, his father would have probably smelt of that, wouldn't he? The fact that he'd pulled out of the Shanghai Masters. Thought something was afoot, I suppose. Anyway, it's good that he won it. And it really did give his career a lift-off.
29.
Beat Mark Allen in the semis. Either side of wins over Ding Junhui and Judd Trump.
30. Green ball.
Oh, he didn't really want to be playing the green at this point. He doesn't want to hit it with a lot of top here and stop the cue ball from travelling anywhere. Wasn't what he was looking for, that.
$33.
Pressure on the next one. Knows that he should have made more. This was the shot. Let that cue ball run down the table too far. Now he's faced with an awkward one. Great recovery shot.
$41.
Two reds and colours is what he needs from here.
Thank you. 42.
That's very sweet. That's his best strike of the evening. You count back on the frames, the more convincing frame victories have been Kyren's, and I mean even the first frame tonight set the same pattern as this afternoon. Kyren ended up throwing it away a little bit by playing a bad shot.
50.
Yes, he's over 100 points up on the aggregate, and if he pots this black, he's going to be all square in terms of frames, which is what really counts.
Switch it off, please.
Oh, well, we had this earlier, phones going off. It happened 3 times when he was down on a green earlier on in the match. In frame 4.
That one was rather a bizarre sounding ringtone, wasn't it?
Well, he's spotted the black, so 2 snookers
57.
needed. Red to make sure, and he's once again hit back. Still not been more than the frame between them all day. Good
58.
break this, though. Just at the right time for Wilson. Mark Allen again was in. Had a couple of chances. But it's Kyren Wilson who's taken the frame out.
64.
And you get the feeling it was more of a surprise if this didn't end up going very close from here. It seems almost destined to be
66.
a fairly late night and a lot of frames from this point on. Very evenly matched 2 players, these. Both in good form, of course, that's why they're here.
Yes, I think Mark Allen has underperformed in this final, but he's still level. So if he can up his game, you know, he's got every chance, but
69.
very hard to call at the moment. Wilson scoring the heavier of the 2, as evidenced here. It's been a great break, it really has. This will make him feel a lot better.
Yeah, certainly some freedom in his cueing arm in this break.
78.
Bounce of safety, it's quite hard to find that.
$84.
Well, Mark Allen had early chances in that frame, but Kyren Wilson stepped in, and in the end it was a really good 84 break from the Englishman. So once again, the Masters final is all square. It's 5 frames apiece.
And of course, Kyren will always take former victories. And of course, he had one in winning in Shanghai against this man.
Thank you. Thank you, frame 11. Mark Allen to break.
So Mark Allen to break in frame 11. Olivier Martil, the ref, just shushing a few stragglers coming in to take their seats. 5 frames all. Still potential 9 frames to play.
Oh, very, very difficult shot there to play a swerve and hope to get it exactly right, and he's got it exactly wrong. He's left an absolutely golden chance here.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting moment. This, as you say, is a chance for Allen to finally start really scoring in this final, which you feel he's going to have to do to win it.
1.
Yeah, the match where it's been quite tough to get a leave, he's been given a really, really good opportunity now. So we'd almost set the frame up for some practice to throw the balls on the table with a very easy starter. See what he can do.
8.
Just 1/2 century from the Antrim man today in frame 2.
Which underlines your point that his scoring just generally has not been of the same level as it was
9.
to get him here against the likes of Ronnie O'Sullivan. He was pretty devastating in amongst them and against John Higgins.
Yeah, that's why I think, although obviously he won't
40.
be maybe that happy with his game, you know, he's got to be happy with the scoreline. On another day, could be 8-2 down
15.
at the moment, 7-3 down, really struggling. But 5-all, despite being under par, he's still in there with a great chance if he can up his game. And this is an opportunity to really get going again.
$22. $23. $28. $29.
Yeah, it's a nice little nudge there.
36.
Certainly it's a gift
37.
gratefully received to have been left this chance. Kyren Wilson was in a bit of trouble, but the little swerve safety shot, it's so hard to judge those.
44.
And only 4 minutes in, he's taken a very strong position in this frame.
45.
Yeah, this is happier terrain for Mark Allen in and around the black spot, racking up a big break.
Sure.
Can only think when Ronnie made his record maximum 5 minutes 20 seconds, he can't have had the white clean once.
52.
No, I don't think it was actually stationary that often either, I suppose. As soon as it stopped, he hit it.
See the chalk marks there on the cloth.
$53. Give me a second, Mark.
Ronnie didn't have this either because he only potted the pink once, of course. That was the at the end of the frame. Gets Mick Price, 21 years ago now, that. To put it into context, Kyren Wilson was 5 years of age. Can't touch the red, has to be in a line with the spots.
Thanks. 59.
Yeah, just finally on that, O'Sullivan.
Thank you.
147. I mean, all records can be broken, but I'd
60.
like to see anyone break that one. 147. in a match. Never won the World Championships in shorter time.
Well, this is already his highest break of the day, and he needs
67.
this red on the plant to put the frame safe.
Just right jaw, isn't it, on that? And that's exactly the way it's going to go in.
68.
Well, he's done what he had to do from the lead that Wilson left him. He's won the frame in one visit. All that scrapping around, it didn't really suit either of them, but certainly not Mark Allen. That's not his game at all.
$73.
Well,
Touching ball.
frustratingly, the break will end, and I would expect Kyren Wilson to carry on, because if he could get it down to one red left, he could get a snooker and a free ball. Well, if I was Mark Allen, I'd be playing onto a colour directly and putting it on the cushion, probably the green.
Mark Allen, 73.
Terrible effort. He should have done that, actually. May not cost him.
Frustration, because obviously Wilson will play on.
Thank you.
And that should be it. Not conceded the frame, because etiquette says when your opponent's at the table, you don't concede. But I don't think that Kyren Wilson will be back to the table this frame, whatever happens to me on in.
Well, the next frame, I think, is a really big one, because there's never been more than the frame between them. It's going to be the last frame before the interval, so a psychologically important frame. Mark Allen will be doing everything he can to get 7-5 in front. He's missed that one, but the frame is his. Kyren Wilson stays in his seat. Mark Allen has made his highest break of the whole final in this frame, a 73, to go back in front in this seesaw battle at the Ali Pali. He leads Kyren Wilson 6-5 for Berlin, but Kyren Wilson has missed out. Anyway, right now it's all about this frame, the last before the interval.
Thank you. Frame 12. Kyren Wilson to break.
Kyren Wilson once again looking to level up. He trails 6-5 in this fascinating Masters final.
by no means was that as an easy opener there. But his attacking
Thank you. Settle
intentions
down,
were still
please.
there. He left the red on. And a little wry grin on his face.
One.
So in first in 2 consecutive frames, Mark Allen.
Three. Four.
Well, choice of reds, one at the bottom of the bunch. I think he's gone too far, but the one to the middle is
11.
okay with the pink available as well. It's a half-decent opportunity to get a score on the board here.
12.
Question of whether the pink goes or highest available up on the green.
$18. 19. $26. $27. $34.
And how to get the bunch open.
35.
Possibly from the pink. It doesn't have a huge angle on it. Oh, he's played this well. Oh, it's a beauty. That's really good. As I say, he was a little straight on this pink ball, so he had to hit it very hard to generate any pace. Hardly imagine seeing that shot played any better than that. You're not on a red easy, but the split was very good.
Mark Allen making his move in this final. Wasn't making breaks at all prior to this, but he had a 73 in the last frame, and he's nicely in again. It was a great split. What a chance for 7-5.
$47.
Saw that
48.
miss from Wilson, but there were balls earlier on in the first session. I'm sure he felt he should have been in front, particularly, of course, the pink in frame 4, but also in the last frame of the afternoon he had chances to take some sort of lead into tonight. if he does lose, and it's a long way off that yet, but if he does, he may look back on the first session. Right now, he's just hoping something goes wrong for Allen here.
54.
Well, he's got the red to the middle, even though I'm sure he played on the one near the black. He's maybe have a look at
61.
it. He played to hit that red a little bit differently, more the underside of it. He'll come round to see the red to the middle. I suspect he'll play it, although back on the other one. Long lead. Interesting shot that he's still going for. Wants to avoid the cannon on the black, but I'm not sure he can. Oh, that'll do. Again, that's
62.
well, he's got a very quick cue action. Can make that sort of thing possible, get some work on the ball. Well, he might play the black for one reason alone. It means there's too many in it, but I think the blue is the shot. Wow, he thought he'd missed that. He really thought he'd missed that. There was a similar shot this afternoon, as if he felt that it just went offline. He leapt up in the air and gave Kyren Wilson hope.
Well, he needs this red, and Wilson needs snookers. In it goes. Big shout of come on from a Mark Allen supporter. He's put together two excellent frames. And for the first time, one of these two players is going to be more than the frame in front. It's Mark Allen. Not only going to the interval too clear, but with two big breaks under his belt.
75. 76. '83. 84.
Well, he looks the stronger. I know that's pretty obvious by what he's doing, but he is scoring. His scoring has come back. I think both frames he's presented with pretty good chances,
91.
but he can do no more than knock them all in.
92.
So this is the movement, the chance for Mark Allen to pull clear.
And it's surely going to be the first century of the final. What a way to go into
99.
the interval. Century number 28 in the Masters.
There's a huge following for Mark Allen here in London. One of the Northern Irish contingent that has been over here for a few days. They're roaring their man on.
105.
What they're doing is they're doing it very fairly. There's no
107.
rowdiness. They're applauding respectfully the opponent, but they're really behind Mark Allen. And
110.
it's creating a wonderful atmosphere.
Well, he won that 40-minute opening frame
114.
to the night. Wilson then made an 84, but Allen has made his two biggest breaks of the final in the last two frames, a 73 and now this century. To give himself a two-frame cushion at the interval. A long way
190.
still to go, but it's advantage Allen at the break.
119 and the
A break of 119, the first century of the final, and for the first time there's a player two frames clear in the final. It's Mark Allen of Northern Ireland, the happier of the two as I go to the interval, because he's leading by 7 frames to 5.
Will happen live, uninterrupted in HD right now in Eurosport. We will not see you again until the Paul Hunter Trophy is lifted high into the London air. Let's get back to Neil and Dave.
No more intervals. It's the fight to the finish here at the Masters final, Alexandra Palace. 7-5 to Mark Allen. He's got a bit of breathing space, 2 frames clear for the first time, but he knows from the long history of this tournament There've been all sorts of comebacks, all sorts of close matches and finals.
Okay, thank
He
you.
needs 3 more
That
frames
will
to get his hands on the trophy.
do. Thank you. Frame 13. Mark Allen to break.
The significant thing for Allen, though, is how he got from 5-all to 7-5. He made 2 big breaks, a 73 and 119. His 2 biggest breaks of the match.
That was not the start he wanted back after the mid-session interval.
That will do.
Hit it a little thick, never really timed it. And immediately, once again, Mark Allen is at the table with a chance.
One.
Yeah, Allen was just sat quietly in the media centre, just ignoring all the hubbub around him. Just sat collecting his thoughts. I guess try not to think too much about what it would all mean, because it would mean absolutely everything to him to win this tournament. There's the points without reply, beginning to stack up, 204 and counting.
7. Twelve. Thirteen. Eighteen.
He was up on that straight away.
19.
Knew that he'd undercooked it a bit straight on this. Means his next shot's going to be quite difficult. Definitely, as soon as he played it, he kind of half leapt in the air. And when you're straight on the blue, there was very little you can do to change that. There are reds that
24.
pop to the right corner, and the ones just to the left of the pink are in the middle of that bunch. There it is. It's his sort of shot.
25.
Didn't disturb a red either. Might soft screw into the bunch here, but again, I don't think it's going to be with a lot of pace. For once, not behind a red.
30.
I don't think there's an awful lot wrong with the pace of the shot. Couldn't afford the cue ball to drift away. Cue ball stayed where it was, but as you can see, the red's not splitting kindly. It's very thin if he goes for the pot. Cue ball up the table either way. Good shot. Now he's onto the green, to the middle.
31.
Just a bit thin, but it was always close enough. Off the top jaw. Yes, this is okay. Although red's to the right corner, from over towards roughly around where the black is, not really much that is on. Oh, that was an outrageous fluke. But it may be that it's not made a lot of difference either way.
34.
Had he missed, and he wouldn't have left too much unless the green had gone into the bunch of 6 reds, and then that would have been a different story. Anyway, time to run away now. Make it a good safety shot. Keep the pressure on.
Mark Allen, 34.
Yeah, I mean, ideally he didn't want to bring that off the cushion, but he didn't feel he had any option, really. Leads by 34. Wilson hasn't polyed the ball for 29 minutes, 232 unanswered points. But at least from his point of view, the fluke did not allow Allen to continue the break. So, a full-blooded attempt.
Now, this is the sort of chance Kyren has not had for 2 or 3 frames. I know that the high-value colours are away from their spot, but it is a decent chance. But it's been a while. Either side of the mid-session interval, those times since last pot stats.
1.
Well, interesting. He played on the black. It's clearly more difficult than the blue. He's a good rest play. He missed a couple yesterday against Judd Trump with the rest, which were, I think, a surprise to most people. Oh dear. Well, he's furious. He's thrown the rest down.
Kyren Wilson, 1.
And
Quiet
for
down
now,
now,
he's
please.
stopped playing altogether. He's giving good chances, and now, with one of his own, everything has dried up in his game.
1.
What looked like a match that was going to be every point being fought for, well, the last 2.5 frames, it's been a one-way traffic.
Yeah, I mean, he's backed himself there to pot the black with the rest, get it back on its spot, make things easier,
6.
but you saw how disgusted he was when he tossed the rest back on the table, handing the initiative
7.
back to Allen with a good chance now to lead 8-5.
$12. $13.
Well, can't say that's one of his best.
18.
Still quite a few ahead. It's just that he's got to put a bit of pace onto this to get up for the blue. Queuing down, it is missable. But he judged it well.
19.
Just needs to maintain his concentration here. Get this frame on the board as well. Chalking them up and going further away. This is frame ball.
24.
Wilson had a chance. He had a chance. Chose to play for the black with the rest. Missed it. Allen needs this red for 8-5.
25.
And now the pressure really is on the shoulders of this man. Kyren Wilson finds himself 3 behind. He'd been in front a couple of times earlier on. Well, this was the black.
30.
And just watch his reaction. If we run it on, well, there wasn't time, but he just threw the rest on the table. He knew he'd lost the frame, basically.
I thought he
31.
hit it a little bit,
Thank you.
slightly too firmly again. A rest shot like that, to be honest, just a little bit, which is definitely something he does under pressure. Just puts a little bit extra into it, as we saw earlier in the match, and he's always done it. It's easy to overhit when the pressure comes on.
33. 34.
Well, someone enjoyed that one.
Yes, the support for both players, I was saying, but the atmosphere is absolutely electric tonight.
45.
Complete respect
47.
for these two guys.
Well, Kyren Wilson's got his family here, but he's only scored 1 point in the last 3 frames. The red that he potted in this frame, in fact.
50. Thank you.
Got to try and get in early if he can in the next frame. Start to do what he did to Judd Trump yesterday. Go for his shots. Try and turn this around. Because at the moment, Mark Allen is just beginning to coast towards the line. He's put together 3 excellent frames, the Northern Irishman, to leave himself 2 away from landing the Masters title. He leads Kyren Wilson by 8 frames to 5. Kyren Wilson getting good support as he prepares to break off in the 14th frame of a possible 19, trailing 8-5.
Frame 14. Kyren Wilson to break.
Referee Olivier Martial, hands up there, trying to tame this crowd, this audience, who are getting quite vocal, but as I was saying, it's all adding to a wonderful occasion at this stage. London Masters audiences have always been made their feelings known on matches. The old conference centre was a real cauldron at times. Occasionally it went over the top a little bit, what was said and what was shouted out, depending on who was playing. This is absolutely fine. Unlucky. He played that very well. Well, he had a fluke against him in the previous frame. That's a pretty outrageous one. But right now, lucky or not, he needs to take advantage.
Well, it could be huge, this, couldn't it? OK, he hadn't left a red on, but he's on the black. That's the point. He was shaking his head there. He didn't think that red was even going in, but it did.
Well, he's scrambled his way onto a red to the left middle, which is not an easy one.
8.
I think while Mark Allen's only got 8 frames, Kyren Wilson is very much still in this match. The opponent gets to 9, and obviously there's no margin for error whatsoever.
9.
He needs to remember that. Get a slight bit of breathing space. This fluke has helped him. It's an extremely skillful game, snooker, but you do need luck at the right time.
16.
Didn't quite ping off the reds as he thought there.
Well, he's got that rest out again. Missed a black with the rest in the last frame, which cost him the frame.
Yeah, this is a different sort of rest shot. It's just about getting the angle right. The other one was a real queuing shot, and it let him down under pressure. But once again, he misses.
Thank you. Kyren Wilson, 17.
Whatever the shot, Dave, he is struggling. The rest shots have been his saviour throughout this tournament till tonight.
Yeah, I just think at this stage he could have done without having to play the black like that. Bang under pressure already. But at least Alan hasn't punished him this time. Packed house. It's been packed every session. It's been wonderfully attended, and the tickets for the 2019 Masters go on sale tomorrow morning. They'll be snapped up very quickly, I'm sure.
It's a very good shot, but of course he didn't play in behind the yellow, and if there is to be a changing of the way this match is going, a little bit of fortune is coming the way of Kyren Wilson, who really could do with it. Been a great shot had he played it that way.
Foul and a miss.
I think he'll get a chance to play it better and probably slightly firmer as well.
Mark, Kyren. Foul and a miss. Kyren Wilson, 4.
And the question is, does the red go? If it does, Kyren won't be having this put back. Yes, well, he'll be playing it. That is for sure.
One.
Pretty much goes without saying that this is a must-win frame, otherwise you're going too far behind. And with a bit of assistance, he's in position to do so here. He needs to get his game back quickly. He's the kind of player, with his temperament, he's very capable of doing that.
Nine. 17.
Well, I don't know he's on anything
24.
easy. Red to the left corner. No. That one is just not available. The red's just in the way. 49 is a good lead, but he needs to do some more yet in this frame.
Once again, he's got the rest out, extension on it this time.
Yeah, and this is a shot that you could push it a little thick onto the ball you're hitting. If you're not careful. All that equipment on there. Very well played.
So he leads by 50. Plenty still to go at here.
$30. $31.
I think that maybe the middle red goes, or the bottom one.
36.
Tight, but certainly purposefully round for it. The answer is they'd both go. I think he needed to win a frame in fairly healthy style as well, not just a long struggle of a frame, and like so many were this afternoon. Frame ball is next.
43.
We certainly saw yesterday that we shouldn't write him off, because he lost his game for periods of that match against Trump. 3 down with 4 to play, won them all. Got him into the final.
$51.
It's a great trait to have, to be able to produce your best snooker when your back's to the wall. There's the Wilson clan, the family, watching on proudly, nervously from the audience. Mum and Dad Sonia and Rob have supported him right since he was a young boy, and here he is fighting back
59.
in the Masters final.
$60. $66. 67. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we know a century just wins a frame, but I think it really would help him if he got one here, just to remind him that he is playing great snooker, and he has been all the way through. For a couple of frames, his form deserted him. His
70.
safety allowed very good chances for Mark Allen.
73.
Well, the break has ended at 73, but it was very timely. He needed to stop the Allen charge for the line, and that's what he's done. Kyren Wilson makes this a bit closer. Allen now leads 8-6. Allen back with that good 73 in frame 14. 8-6 to Allen. He needs 2. Wilson needs 4 to be crowned champion here at the Alexandra Palace in London this evening. One of the great occasions of the snooker year. And it's just got a little bit closer.
Take your seats, please. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Frame 15. Mark Allen to break.
So Mark Allen still 2 away from that trophy. Allen's junior record was so good. He made such an explosive start to his pro career. First 2 matches he played, he beat Steve Davis and John Higgins in the old Northern Ireland Trophy. That he was earmarked for winning a really big tournament right from the start, because it's not that simple. So many great players around, and he's had to learn his way and learn from the down moments as well.
It's very hard to win the Masters, because first of all you've got to be in it to win it, which means you've got to be in the top 16 in the world, doesn't it? It takes a while to get into that category. Whereas, of course, all other tournaments, you've got a pot shot of winning it because you're a professional. Hard work gets you here, and great success. It's a tournament with a lot of history.
Well, that's an error for Wilson.
Yes, Dave, he called it very thick, that red. It was a quarter ball or so, but it was certainly a thicker contact than that.
One.
He's a very open person, Mark Allen. He'll speak his mind, and he's freely admitted that when he was in his 20s, he maybe didn't practice enough.
6.
And he said it caught up with him, and he fell behind some of the other players around the same age. You're still top 16, but not winning the big trophies, not being in the big finals. He's also spoken about mental health issues that he's struggled with, that he's sought help for, because it can be a very lonely sport, particularly when the guys go away and spending a lot of time in hotel rooms away from friends and family at home. It can be difficult, despite the big rewards on offer.
That's a very good shot. That cannon on that red is not so easy to control.
14.
From the angle he had on the black, it's perfectly judged.
$15.
Worth seeing this again. A perfect shot.
Yeah, Alan said that he's become more sociable now when he goes away. He used to just spend time on his own, but that's a recipe for
22.
pretty dark times, I think. Thankfully, he's, as I say, sought help, and happy to talk about that.
23.
A little pyramid of 6 reds there that are almost perfectly intact. Might not be for much longer. It's also well played. He didn't go into them firmly. Exactly what he was trying.
30. $31.
Standard had gone up quite a bit. The first couple of frames of the evening were lengthy, scrappy. But then since then, we've seen a real step up in pace, and both players are playing a lot better now, especially, I would say, the man at the table is playing like a Masters champion in waiting.
36. $37.
It's okay, again, very well played, pink available. Always been an instinctive player, not technically as good as some, but certainly that little talented streak is there.
43. $44.
could play on the loose red or he could go into them here. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
49.
I think there could have been players who would have just spotted the loose red and for a different opportunity. He thought he'd take it there and then. Back to the middle, though, to keep the break going. Oh, we were right behind that. We saw one earlier on that just tailed in a fraction. Perfectly good roll of the ball. He started it near jaw.
Thank you.
That's where it ended up.
Yeah, I think there's some people sat maybe not in the line who were cheering it in. They thought it was in.
I always thought it was doubtful.
One.
Suggestion earlier on today that the red curled in a bit, but then there is some nap on the cloth. The cloths, even though there aren't too much nap on them, they're fairly shaved these days where there's not too much going on, but they should just pull in a fraction there. And I think that one did. There's nothing wrong with the table at all.
Meanwhile, Wilson cannoned into the yellow, but he's on it to the green pocket.
He would feel a huge frame if he could somehow win it.
Well, these are the sort of frames that define finals, sometimes end up defining whole careers. Mark Selby, when he came here the first year, 2008, he won 3 straight deciders to reach the final. Played many epic matches since.
Four.
Well, he missed a shot, something like this earlier on in the session. Oh, that was much better. Very assertively played there.
11.
It's getting a little bit tense, this frame. This feels like I say, a big passage of play coming up. How many can he make in a frame that Mark Allen probably should have already won? Whether the right shot to go into the bunch or not. Hindsight, it went wrong, didn't it?
$19. $20.
Two reds go. He's got to play a well-timed screw shot here off the black, which is just off straight. Forcing the cue ball up the table. That's very nice. Very solid.
27. $28.
So these two reds out in the open. He's got the one on the cushion as well, which is going to be absolutely crucial now to this frame.
34. $35. 41.
Well, if he could finish where he put his cue there, he'd have a natural angle from blue off the cushion into the red. It's on that left cushion.
Well,
that looks absolutely perfect. Now, off the bottom cushion into the red. It's all about the weight. I think the line of the shot looks dead on to me. Well, I think he got a little bit of left-hand check on the ball. Very surprised he missed the cannon there.
47.
So there's 2 points in it. What a massive moment in this final. 9-6 or 8-7, depending on the next few moments.
Well, he's got the red fairly safe anyhow, because that was the other concern about where the ball's finished. I think you check this as just a touch. Seemed to come off quite the natural angle for whatever reason there off that cushion. Now this is a concern for Kyren Wilson. He's left a great opportunity, but there is distance here, a lot of it between cue ball and object ball.
Well, he's got to pot it, get on a colour, and if he does, you'd fancy him for 9-6.
Well, the tide could be changing. He's left a great chance. And as I said, it was all about the distance.
Quiet down, please.
The red wasn't hanging over the pocket, but he was a good 11.5 feet away from it.
Well, Alan had originally made the running in this frame. He missed that red, remember, to the left centre. He's now missed that one from distance. Could have finished anywhere, but he left it on. What a chance for Wilson.
Well. What made him think that to hold it was the best shot? It looked to be too much angle. He could have come out of bulk, through bulk and back out. I think he'd have played it well enough. Couldn't have held it much more than that. Tension stopped him playing what looked to be the correct shot there. Might be a bit of the yellow sticking out, but it's far from ideal. He's made a brilliant recovery. That is a great shot.
8.
He needs brown and blue to close to within single frame. What a dramatic frame of snooker this has been.
I'm not keen on using the cushion on those shots. They've gone too far, but as Dave pointed out, this is the one he needs for the frame. Of course, barring snookers, that is. I don't think he'll be worrying too much about position here. played it very well.
One thing's for
20.
sure, he's not tentative as he really gets through the ball. He'd love to just drop this in, stop any playing on for snookers. It's on its way. This final has suddenly got a lot closer. A lot closer. Mark Allen dominated those 3 frames where Kyren Wilson only potted 1 ball. But Wilson is on the comeback trail. There's just 1 in it. Allen leading 8-7.
Thank you. That will do. Frame 16. Kyren Wilson to break.
So having lost 3 frames on the spin, Wilson's won the last 2. He trails 8-7.
You like to bottle that break up and keep it for the whole season. Well, you're going behind the green like that. Playing into the bunch. Not a great deal of room here. Looks to be okay, though. We obviously know that Kyren Wilson has got fighting qualities. He lost the thread of his game for 2.5 frames. But he's managed to regroup. It's got re-rack potential, this, isn't it? If potential is the right word to use, could be one, depending on whether a player can get down the table. Olivier Martil is always looking at both players, seeing if there's any thoughts of a re-rack. And that's what they're going to do. Let's do it all over again, Dave.
Yeah, second one of the night. And again, it was all decided very quickly. Used to be no one wanted to blink first, but those days are over.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if a player's got a lead of 20 points or so, they're somewhat reluctant to take a re-rack when offered, if offered. But so early in a frame, I think both players want to just get on and play attractive snooker rather than end up in a real tactical minefield, something that could go on for ages.
Just shows as well how enthusiastic the audience is that they applauded the re-rack.
Thank you. Frame 16. Kyren Wilson to break.
So once again, Kyren Wilson to break in frame 16. That's just been re-racked. Trailing 8-7. See on the safety stats, Allen quite comfortably in front. Wilson 60% on long potting. So he's knocked that one in.
Yes, that was played with a bit of safety in mind, but he really hit it nicely. Of course, once you get it, you don't really want the cue ball to go quite as far up the table. Fine cueing. Just a little bit worried about, I think, dropping in behind yellow. He's got to cover reds over a wide area. But I guess he's just got to play it. Well, he's deciding to go green for whatever reason. Maybe he's not keen on those little roll-ups. But I thought surely if you get your opponent in the snooker, it's the biggest advantage you can get other than potting a ball. Living slightly dangerously on that shot. Missed the red and the bump of the left middle as well. He doesn't want that one back. That's okay. Oohs and ahs, but it was actually a very good shot. Cuba was well directed there. The pressure is now on Kyren to follow suit. Well, that's certainly the side of the table that causes the most bother getting back. Very congested on the left side. Players are given open half of the table there to see what safety shots they can play. Well, that is just fantastic. He's not frightened to play his shots, is he? I mean, he ended up getting the cue ball back, but there's no guarantees there. The gap he thought was a gap actually wasn't one, but the red went in. What difference?
Thanks.
So that's the long tackle for this Brown. Which he's missed.
Kyren Wilson
So
1.
such a good red, but it's going to be Mark Allen who's in.
Extra weight on the cue, and sometimes you can just push it onto the object ball a little. That's all I can think of there, but he has, as you say, more importantly, given a chance. And he's not really been in operation for 20 minutes. That's how long it's been since he last potted a ball. You are going to get that at this game, but
1.
it's a question of what you do when the chance eventually comes, and we're going to find out.
Yeah, apart from the early chance he had in the last frame, he's been kept relatively cold, having put together those 3 brilliant frames to lead 8-5.
Seven. Thank you. Eight. 14. 15.
It's only a pretty basic plant that was amongst all the other options open to him. He'd like to have a little angle on this, so he could just stun through onto the red, just to the left of it, into the same pocket. To play that shot, which to be judged perfectly.
21. 22. 28. 29.
Just got that spring back in his step again.
35.
He was holding on early in the final. The first session, he wasn't playing his best snooker. He's played much better tonight overall. Starting to make breaks.
42. $43.
Certainly done well to take all these reds and pinks. Been on the pink perfectly almost every time. And all this from that bad shot of Kyren's. He missed the brown. Swinging the cue
49.
ball around onto the reds.
$50.
Needs a red and a colour. Fairly high value colour. Just overscrewed a touch.
$56.
Yeah, he needs at least the blue off the red. First of all, he needs the red. Again, the long stuff employed. This is the equipment that Wilson had out when he missed the brown.
Bit longer? Yeah.
Well, he'd like to get on another red, but he needs to
57.
see this ball go in the next colour. As you say, blue or pink will be enough. He's a little straight on this, so I'm sure the pot is everything to him right now. Head in behind the reds. And one more red and that'll be enough.
Yeah, so the missed brown from Wilson
63.
proved costly. Potted such a good red, but missed the brown with the extended rest. He already needs a snooker. If this red goes in, it's surely going to be 9-7 to Mark Allen. And in it goes.
64.
And the pressure now transfers once again to Kyren Wilson. But of course he won the last 4 yesterday. He's got to win the last 3 here this evening to become Masters champion. Mark Allen looking for one more frame to land one of the big 3 titles for the first
59.
time in his career. I expect Wilson to stay in his chair, and he does. He nods his head. Well, it was a missed brown that gave Allen that opportunity. He took it with both hands. A break of 69. He's 1 away from becoming champion. He leads 9-7. So the pendulum swung once again in favour of Mark Allen. 9-7, a good 69 break from him. Kyren Wilson knows what he's got to do now. He's got to firstly cut out all mistakes. He's got to try and turn the screw in terms of pressure, make the match closer, win the next 2 frames to force a decider. Did so well to get this far, but he wants it to continue for an hour or so yet. Mark Allen would love it to be over, though, in this frame. The Masters trophy within touching distance now for Northern Ireland's Mark Allen as he prepares to break off in frame 17. He leads 9-7 as the crowd settle. He needs one more frame, and he is the winner.
Thank you. Frame 17. Mark Allen to break.
The supporters in the audience chewing what's left of their fingernails, roaring him on for, again, what they hope is one last frame. Kyren Wilson's family and friends here, obviously, hoping that he can launch another comeback.
Five hours of playing time today between this pair, but he may have made another mistake. the shot. He missed the pot by quite a considerable margin. I think the red goes here. Unfortunately, the other red has blocked the black. And the safety shot up into bulk is not easy with the red there.
Green ball. Mark Allen 1.
It's okay, not bad at all. Kyren always, in times of pressure and times when he really needs to pull out extra, he's not frightened to take a shot or two on. He keeps attacking. He's now looking at this somewhat difficult red, which is no guarantees of being safe. This is very risky. Plays into bulk. The red's up there as well. Can't afford this one to go astray. Not very close. Might have been looking to play a containing shot there, I think.
Thank you.
The degree of difficulty at that pace
Not
was
and players at the table.
very high. Especially with, as I say, the red at the other end of the table. How was he going to, even when he got through the bulk, how was he going to ensure being safe?
Well,
He didn't know a great deal about that. Now this is very early in the frame, but it is a chance, and hopefully he'll not get too misty-eyed about the whole possibility of going on and winning the Masters at this visit. Because if you think too hard about stuff like that, it can go against you. Just concentrate on the moment.
8.
Not played a very good shot there.
$13.
It's just so difficult to find a way of getting onto the black. Maybe this red will open things up.
$14.
One red that's been taken away from the area around the black, which could help him later on.
$19.
Problem here, in pulling this red, it's the colour that he's got to land on.
Thank you. 20.
Well, I don't know if he knew that went or not, because he only just had a look at it. It certainly does go. This could be a title-winning shot.
Well, every ball is massive.
27.
40 years since Alex Higgins first won the Masters. 31 years since Higgins lost to Dennis Taylor, another Northern Ireland great, in the final. Mark Allen closing in on joining them on that roll of honour.
$28.
And it went last time, so it'll go again this time. It's not a huge pocket, but I think the centre pocket clearly is available to him. The red essentially is not in the way, even though it looks that way.
35. $36.
He's vastly improved this evening, but just as important was the way he hung on this afternoon, where Kyren Wilson, I feel, would have felt he should have been in front. Allen won a couple of real close frames to hang on in there, as the family and supporters in the audience
43.
can barely watch some of them. They've been with him many years, I'm sure. It's been a long time coming for him. As I say, everyone in the game knows how good he is. He's won ranking titles, but never one of the real big majors.
51.
He's taken these very well so far. Very cool. Black was not available to either
52.
corner pocket when he started. Family on tenterhooks. It's always hard up there watching. It's not there yet. Playing on the loose, Freddie doesn't have to worry about those four in the middle of the table.
57.
Still 75 on. So red, black, or red colour, and a further red, and that'll be it. Doesn't make
58.
any difference that he's played on the blue. I really don't expect him to go into them here. Can play on the loose one if he wanted to. Yep, that's what he's done. That's very well played.
So the moment has arrived for Mark Allen, the biggest moment of his snooker career. If he pots the red, it's snooker's required.
64.
Kyren Wilson has given this tournament everything. Let's not forget his comeback yesterday
Thank you.
against Judd Trump. Right now, he needs snookers.
No fist pump or anything like that. I think this black and a further red, if the red went in, then I think he knows he's absolutely home. Until then, there's always just a glimmer for any opponent.
71.
But I expect
Thank you.
he'll realise the moment is his.
Well, he's really stepped it up tonight. He leads by 72 with 59 on. And here comes the handshake. It's all over, and at long last, Mark Allen has landed one of the game's major titles. And the celebrations can begin. He's the Masters champion for 2018. It really has been a long time coming. It was a tough final, a tough first session, but he hung on in there. He's played really well tonight. A 71 break to win the final frame. He beats Kyren Wilson by 10 frames to 7. And he even has time to sign an autograph or two.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2018 Dapperbet Masters champion is Mr. Mark Allen, ladies and gentlemen. But before we talk to Mark, let's just have a quick word with Kyren Wilson. And give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Kyren Wilson, our runner-up, ladies and gentlemen. Kyren, Hard lines, Kyren. You can hear the appreciation from this crowd here tonight. And Kyren, this is the hardest interview of all. I can see what it means to you. You're close to tears here, and we can understand, my friend. But listen, you should hold your head up really high. Just listen to that, Kyren, listen to that. Look, this is really tough for you, so we'll keep it as short as possible. But just listen to the crowd. They've enjoyed seeing you play tonight, Kyren, and also throughout the week. Hard lines, you've been a wonderful, wonderful competitor.
It's just really drafty in here, to be honest. No, honestly, I've had an incredible week. I said to my manager and my coach, if anyone was going to beat me, you know, I'd have loved it to have been Mark, obviously. I'm devastated. He deserves it. He's been knocking on the door, so, you know, deserves it.
Well, trust me, I think I speak on behalf of all of us here tonight, and also all those people watching at home on the BBC. Yesterday's comeback against Judd Trump was one of the great Masters comebacks, and you should take a lot of credit for that, and a lot of heart, Kyren. And I'll just say thank you very much indeed, because I know what it means to you as well. Thank you very much indeed. Well played. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Your daddy is a Masters champion. Congratulations, Mark. Can you sum up what this feels?
Yeah, it's surreal. It's been a long time coming, and I wasn't ever sure that it was going to come, to be honest. I knocked on the door for so long, but I can finally say I've won a Triple Crown. But look, what a competitor Kyren Wilson is. What a competitor. Not just a competitor, he's the nicest guy you can meet, and he's got a great family with him. So, look, Kyren will have many more days like this. I know what it feels like to sit in that seat after losing a major final. I lost to Judd in the UK. It's not a nice feeling, but how far has he come in the last 2 years? And he's going to be in these major finals for a long time.
And I've just got to ask you, Mark, as well. The boys I sit with in the studio, John Parrott, Steve Davis, Stephen Hendry, they've achieved so much, and they have spoken so highly of not only your game, but your composure this week. Have you felt this good?
It makes a change for Stephen Hendry to say something like that. Yeah, I felt calm all week, apart from the first session today. I was really on edge. I felt like as the match went on, though, I got stronger. I felt more at ease with myself and just played the way I had done the rest of the week. But yeah, I'm just very, very pleased, you know, to be on the right end of it. For a change, is, you know, I'm over the moon, and I think someone said it's 40 years since Alex Higgins first lifted this trophy. So to bring it back to Northern Ireland, that's what I do it for.
Oh, they love that. They love that here. They love that. Just one final question, because we've got the presentation. I remember, Mark, you and I had a long chat 4 years ago, and we talked about one day you hoped and you dreamt of lifting the title here at Ali Pali, and you've done it, my man.
I have done it, and it's a long time coming, as I say, but hopefully this is a stepping stone to bigger and better things. Hopefully this is just the first Triple Crown.
Okay, well done. Many congratulations. Thank you.
Can I just say a quick thank you to the whole crowd. The crowd all week has been unbelievable, from first match against Luca Bracel. It's been sold out all week, and no, me and Bazza don't get to see eye to eye all the time, but he's doing a wonderful job of promoting our sport. Look at from day one in here, it's been sold out, and it's only growing and growing. So well done, Barry.
Well done, you. Mark Allen, ladies and gentlemen, is the 2018 Dafabet Masters champion. Well done, my friend. Congratulations, well done.
Well, emotional scenes. Kyren Wilson very disappointed. Nice to see Mark Allen with his young daughter Harley there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please
There's a picture for the family album as we start the trophy presentation.
Snooker. John Crucis, head of sponsorship at Dafabet, and the 1980 full Masters champion Jimmy White, Dafabet ambassador. The runner-up receiving the silver medal and a cheque for £90,000. What a week it has been for Kyren Wilson.
Well, he's given it everything. That's why he got emotional. But as Mark Allen says, I'm sure he'll be back in a big final very soon. He gets a cheque for £90,000. And a lot to build on.
And to the winner, receiving a cheque for £200,000. The Paul Hunter Trophy and the title 2018 Dafabet Masters Champion, Mark Allen.
So, some sharp shooting from the pistol, Mark Allen this week, to master the field here in London. And there is
Your champion,
the Paul Hunter Trophy.
Northern Ireland's Mark Allen.
And our champion. And it has to be said, Neil, this is a scene we always thought we'd see with Mark Allen. I think everyone thought eventually he would win one of these.
Yes, it's been a long time coming, though, and it's one of these things, if he's good enough and you work hard enough, you know, these wonderful days come, and it is quite emotional here tonight, both players. Great final and a great champion. Well done, Mark Allen. He is the champion, and he's been the best player all week. He's beaten all the stars, John Higgins and Ronnie O'Sullivan and the like, and he deserves everything he gets.
Yeah, and an impressive break in the end. He won it in that one visit in the last frame, and the celebrations, I get the feeling, are going to continue long into the night. So congratulations from us to Mark Allen. We'll return you now to Colin and the guys in the Eurosport studio.
Well, this is why snooker is a sport that we love so much here on Eurosport. It's just full of all ages, all shapes, all sizes, anti-heroes everywhere. And on nights like tonight, huge nights, tears, respect, and family always come to the fore. Just look at these pictures that we're watching now. The young daughter, the family, the stepson, and Mark Allen with his brother as well, realising, Neil Robertson, a lifetime of dedication comes to fruition, and that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely, and the best thing about this is that he gets to share it with his family. I mean, you know, let's face it, there aren't many tournaments as prestigious as the Masters, and, you know, I've been a tournament winner overseas before, and, you know, it's a bit of an empty feeling when you don't get to celebrate with your family and closest friends. So for Mark to be able to win this event in the UK, share it with his closest friends and family, makes it that extra special for sure.
Just look at him at the moment, the face flush, and I wonder how much of this he'll remember when he wakes up tomorrow morning. I don't know, do you remember every second, or does it just become a haze, Ronnie?
The next day is really nice, you know, because you sit down, you can chill out, you buy the papers, you know, see you're plastered all over it, and it's just a great feeling, you know, and you've got all your friends and family there, and, you know, this is just a special moment for him, you know. He's got his family there, you know, he's had a fantastic week, and, you know, everyone's so proud of him. It's a great moment. But the next few days, it'll just sink in, you know, and he'll be like feeling 20 feet tall, you know?
Yeah, I tell you what, I know his wife's here, but he'll be sleeping with that trophy as well tonight. No shadow of a doubt. He's the type of guy as well. He's been helping out the London Northern Ireland Supporters Club, get tickets every day, doing what he can for them. He's a real connection with those people who are in cheering him on tonight, and he will take his time before he comes and talks to us. He'll sign the autographs, he'll do the pictures. He probably will want to leave down there because he's 13 and a half years as a pro in the making this.
Yeah, no, listen, I mean, this is what I'm saying. You like moments like this, you have to realise that, you know, they don't come along a lot, so you want to just soak every moment up and take it all in, you know, because it does happen so fast. But you know, he deserves to win a major. I mean, for Mark Allen, he's got a great temperament, and he's playing better than he ever has.
Yeah.
And you know, he's built for big occasions, really, you know.